Guys, I will do a special thing, but I'm gonna eat, so you will be sadly missing me for the quad shot and probably a sprint, but I will guarantee be here. I will be here for the main race. I'll put the stream up so you guys can see still. So I'll be back in a bit. See you guys later.
circuit here at Sao Paulo is something called a throwback circuit, built in the 1940s. It's been updated just enough over the years to meet the requirements of the FIA without destroying the track's essential character. In 2019, Max Verstappen's Red Bull became the first Honda-powered car to win at Interlagos. Fernando Alonso has never taken victory in Brazil. Yet the Spaniard has
have returned. Alright, what have I come to see? Is that Jengaaboi? Oh, this is an interesting sight to see. Well, anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here for a wet sprint. Yeah, sorry, I was about that. I was eating a lovely, decent chicken pie. So, I'm back now, and you'll see Shadow has taken the lead in a great Mexican race. Mexican GP. It's very good. Hazy P2. Naismith, after his first podium of the league, he now settles in third place in the sprint so far in today's wet sprint. So, Jordan P6 definitely needs some points to get ahead back of Jengaaboi, who's now the new championship leader after Mexico. And Mercedes definitely need those points up against the McLaren team, who are still in second, as Williams, I believe, dropped ahead of them, or I think Williams is still P2. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna check. Ooh. There we are, constructors. Yeah, Williams, our new race championship leaders. But only by 3 points, it's getting closer. As Jordan has got past Chimp for that P5. He's trying to think about getting JJoLancer here. Around. Let's put in. Yeah. Trying to get past JJoLancer, the Ferrari, who's holding him behind quite a lot. Righty-ho. As he's going to get past JJoLancer for P4. And JJoLancer now is going to have to set up himself to defend Chimp, who's going to do himself. Ooh, bit of contact made by JJoLancer and Chimp. Let's go drop JJoLancer. Decently far back. More contact made down in front for turn 4. Headed down that long straight now. There could still be wheel-to-wheel action. Ooh, bump. Oh, the front wing has touched the rear end of that McLaren. Speed coming it though. He still can't find traction. Heading through turn 6. So Redemption, the Alfa Romeo, can seem to get himself through that Ferrari. Maybe. Nah, I think it's a bit too far back to think of a move down the inside. Maybe he does go for it still. Gets himself a 3-second penalty because of it. Not ideal for whatsoever. Now Hazy has catched up to Shadow. Oh, I'm gonna double check if I'm still speaking here. Yeah. Alright, sound sweet. So Hazy trying to catch up to the Alpine. Only 3 tenths behind. He's definitely done well to catch up from being a second behind earlier on with 2 laps to go. Oh, Hazy gone awfully wide there. Probably losing a bit of traction heading out of turn 2. 3. It's going to allow Naismith to be right behind him, right on the arse. Redemption seems like he's lost it. Goes wide. So does JJoLancer. JJoLancer allows him to go back through and pass. And that's Dave laying by the lapped cars there. No, Dave is laying by the cars because he is now lapped. And Timu right behind Shocker. Timu had a good race to be putting Williams into a double point finish last race. Down the inside, JJoLancer will think to go on Redemption. Redemption defends him off well. They could think of a move down the inside again. More contact made. Let's go get JJoLancer through that slight bit of contact. I think Redemption will be furious for that. And Naismith will be battling here. Try and get himself closer to Hazy and Shadow. As we're heading into the penultimate lap now. can see 3 cars trying to battle for this Brazilian Grand Prix lead. As they do, hunt each other out. Shocker do gain another 3-second penalty. That's going to allow K1 to get up into P10. As he goes, sticks it down the inside. Contact again made. But it's going to go allow Shocker to go wide. That could allow Timu to come have a go. I think it's a bit too far back to think of anything like that. But now... oh, God. Right, as Shadow will lead now to the very last lap now of the sprint race. Hazy's still too far behind to try moves, overtake or anything. His 8 attempts dropping more and more with this last couple of corners now. And then head down to the little straight. That's Dave Raptors retiring from the session. Hazy now right behind Shadow, 3 attempts behind. He's got the DERS advantage. Naismith watching along. He's too far back to do anything now unless Hazy or Shadow makes a mistake heading into this last lap. Hazy patiently waits to try and get Shadow in this sprint. Heading through, heading into the second sector now. Hazy goes wide, that gives him a 3 seconds. That's going to drop him down to P3, and that's him making a vital mistake. Round turn 8. Oh no, that's another 5-second penalty. That's going to drop him down even more. So that's going to give him to P6. After that mistake there, he just didn't need to make that mistake, Hazy. That's cost him a lot. That's going to push Jordan up. I think Jordan will gratefully accept that, as that's now going to drop him up to P3, and it's going to move Chimp up as well to a P5, P4 now as well. I think that'll be it. I don't think Skyboy's within range to actually move up in their position, so there'll also be other position changes up here. So Naismith will take P2 for Mercedes as Shadow wins the sprint race, and that's a 5-second penalty there for Hazy for an unserved penalty. That's Jordan getting past him there on the line, because the penalty's Chimp just misses out for that P4, so Hazy will just lose 1 position there from that penalty. Look at that, the Luke now finishes P10 because of the penalties. So P9 is for K1A. Luke's going to drop down to P11 as Torion does take his place. Timu stays P12, Shocker stays P13, Wizzy stays 14, burn it down 15, Nano 16. DNFs is Zinc, Dave Raptors, Jengaaboi, and I'm Dom. Josh definitely needs a pickup boost in this Brazil main race. Ugh. Right, so Jordan has been given driver of the day of the sprint race. Oof. Right, run you down for the race grid then. It's going to be Shadow who's going to be starting P1. Naismith will be alongside him in the front row for P2. Second row will be Jordan and Chaldinho, that's aka Hazy. Chimp and Scotty Boy will be P5 and 6th on the third row. Fourth row will be alongside Joshy Boy and Redemption. Fifth row, K1 and Torion. Back of the grids now. We're still going at P11 will be Luke, and alongside him will be the Finn of Timu. P13 and 14 will be alongside Wizzy Boy and Shocker, and 15th and 16th will be Nano, and the DNFs of Zinc, Dave, Jenga and Dom is going to step him down into P17, 18, 19 and 20 finish. Whew. Ooh. So it looks like it's still a wet Brazil. I believe it's going to be a wet, dry, back to wet, which will make things very, very interesting to say at least. Same at par. Yeah, we'll look at this. Let me look at the weather. Weather. F1 weather. Yes, it's going to be a wet, dry and wet race. So we're looking at intermediate conditions. So, who says Brazil isn't interesting? Haha. As we'll get the formation lap underway. I will return again 1 minute. I'm just going to nip somewhere for 1 minute. So, have a look at Shadow on this formation lap, and we'll be underway. I have returned, and it's Shadow getting away around now the final corner to get us lined up and soon ready to go. So Mercedes having their best start so far of the season with a P2, P3, and Hazy P4 after that vital mistake in the last couple of corners really hindered him to get there on the final position of the grid to get near the front row spot. Chimp P5 and JJoLancer is hoping he could get a fantastic start here. Redemption DSQ, Wizzy Boy, burn it down, a shocker DSQ, unable to park a car, MC. Josh started from the back of the grid. He needs to do a stellar race to get himself to keep his championship lead alive against Jordan. Right, as the cars are now all lined up. As the cars are now all lined up. We're going to have 5 red lights. And away we go as now Shadow gets a fantastic start. Slow start for Naismith. Very slow start for Naismith. And he's going to drop down to P7. Shadow keeps himself in the lead as that. Jordan keep getting himself up to P2. Chimp and Hazy have a bit of contact for turn 3 and 4. But that's Chimp going to allow the game to P3. T4, Hazy going really wide, allowing cars getting past him, left, right, centre, and Redemption going to ask for a best start as he's up to P5, JJoLancer only up to P4, great start from him. Wow, what a start I've just seen there. All on the wet tyre compound. Jengaaboi making himself valuable, making him up to 14th now, but he's going to fight the AlphaTauri for 14th, the AlphaTauri is not going to let him have this so easily, as Wizzy Boy still fights it and holds the position. Josh needs to get past him vitally if he stands any chance of getting close to the leaders. The people behind. What a poor start from Naismith and Hazy though. They couldn't ask for any worse start. You can see that Hazy sending it down the inside on the Ferrari, leaving just about minimal space, but the Ferrari's going to make that work. And JJoLancer is going to keep the lead just about, leaves the minimal space for Hazy, and Hazy has to back out and stick with P7 unless he can get a good run into the penultimate corner. Which he has. That's going to allow him to get up to. Going to use these zeros. That's going to get him up to P6. Definitely needs much more of a helping hand. Shadow definitely proved himself the last 3 races. Had a brilliant race in his hands up. An even better race in Mexico. And now having a fantastic start to the Brazilian GP of winning the sprint race. And also getting P1, holding on P1 against Jordan, who's P2 in the championship today. Starting today anyway. And I think he's retaking the lead a bit during the sprint race. It's totally separated by not very much points, I believe. So Jordan now 3 tenths behind. He's going to try everything to get past Shadow and reclaim that top spot, which was wanted and was leading for many races. But Josh, he was holding his foot down, gathered many consistent points and put him still in the championship fight and managed to get taken the lead for the first time of the season. So Jordan needs to get the race. The pressure pressure is on Jordan, but he's still got it within him. He still has the patience to do so. After a very tricky Mexico Grand Prix where he didn't DNF, he left the session after having a collision with an Alpha Tauri. As Naismith's all the way back on. He's dropped from P2 to P9. Naismith, he didn't have the best of start at all, and now he's going to try to find his way to get past the Toriant. He needs to find a way to defend against this speeding Alfa Romeo of K1. He's going to stick it down the inside of Naismith. He's going to go wide, but too wide for him in fact. I think he carried too much speed heading into that corner. That could allow Nano to get all over him, but he has got the AlphaTauri right behind of Wizzy. Wizzy now fighting his way right on the rear end of an Aston Martin. He thinks he can make the inside move work, and he does. He gets himself up to P11 and now chasing the Alfa Romeo. Nano will be fuming that he lost that position, as it was a good chance to capitalise and get himself into points, as he missed that last time. Josh could think about moving on the inside, but he hesitates not to in the end. Wow, that's a great start so far. I think McLaren can ask for any much of a start, and looking at how Williams are looking now, they've got a firm hand on the Constructor Championships at the moment of time. I do beat Jordan ahead of both of them, but you're looking at both points scored. They've gathered more points, so they just need to keep it comfortable. That's Hazy losing it and into the wall. Lost of traction. He's just not good enough. That's going to allow Naismith, but he's going to go super wide from Toriant as he feels there was no space left. That's going to allow the Alfa Romeo of Wizzy to be overtaken. Naismith to be overtaken by Wizzy. That Alpha Tauri is steaming past by. And the McLaren and Mercedes decide, no, I'm not having none of that. Contact's been made by both of them. It's going to give Naismith no room. Oh, contact was made between there. Still no space made. Josh is now need to be cautious and seeing all the havoc going on here. He's going to get the overspeed on that Mercedes. Naismith looks to defend the inside, sends Josh all the way around the outside. That's Hazy off track. That's going to allow Wizzy to get past him there. Contact almost made. Good awareness there by Naismith to get past there. He goes up to point to P10. And Chaldino, he's going to have to defend against Jengaaboi massively. Doesn't look like he puts too much of a fight there, as that's Jengaaboi get himself up to P11. Hazy dropping down like he's a fly. Redemption up to P5. Alfa Romeo scoring their best point finish, I think, to this season. Scotty Boy P6 in that Ferrari. Toriant and K1 attacking and defending from each other. And that's a bit of contact made there by K1 on the rear end of that Haas. Whew, interesting 4 laps. So Mexico all over again. As K1 tries to find some speed against Toriant, he goes super wide off the track and off the grass. Can anyone stop this stop this AlphaTauri, because he is speeding his way through the grid. I could find himself up to a P8 spot in a minute if he can get the move done on K1. He's gone slightly wide. I feel like he had no space there from his perspective. That's going to allow Naismith to gather some speed on him. 1 tenth behind, he's catching, but the AlphaTauri seems like he has more front, less downforce than Naismith does. Good contact's been made by Naismith on the rear end on Wizzy. In these conditions, that's going to definitely cause him to spin. That's going to allow 4 cars to get past him, with Jengaaboi, Burn It Down, Dave and Timu to all get past that AlphaTauri, who's having a steamer of a race so far. So that's just unlucky from him. Naismith but probably felt a bit too impatient, broke a bit too late. That's allowed him to hit into the rear end of that AlphaTauri, but he's right behind the Alfa Romeo and the Haas. This will put him back into a good position and will help Mercedes even more against this fight against McLaren and Williams. Jengaaboi is now finding himself in points. 8 positions made from him. Definitely much needed. I think that's Dave off the track. It is Dave off track. He's now P14. A lot of cars there behind, you can see, slowing down. And there's Jordan and Shadow now, battling out for the lead. Two leaders battling out down the straight, wheel to wheel. You have Chimp right behind, watching this. Who's going to make it? Who's going to go for the inside move? Shadow's going to opt to go the long way round. That's going to allow Jordan to get the better traction. That's going to go Shadow off track. Jordan's now taking the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Shadow's going to drop down to P2. He's going to have to find a way to get past this Mercedes again. You thought he was going to be played sailing, but not against the Mercedes of Jordan, who is running out of ERS. You can see the battery there, 21%. He definitely used a lot on the opening laps. Chimp, definitely a bit more cautious and 73% ERS saved. He can definitely try and have a go in Shadow now, as he's 4 times behind, and he's gaining more and more for this race goes on. Mercedes of Naismith. Oh, Torian lost a bit of traction there. Too much traction loss. Let's go allow K1 to get past. But K1 goes a bit wide, heading into that corner. That's going to allow him to get the worst piece of traction. And Torian is going to get a great reaction out of it. He could have pushed himself to P7. Wheel-to-wheel action there between the Alfa Romeo and the Haas. The Alfa Romeo is just going to let him by. Nice Jengaaboi getting past Naismith from the inside. But Naismith is not going to have it. He's going to try and get himself back up to it, defending, trying to get his teammates the best chance possible in the championship. Naismith defends well and honourably and gets himself into P9 against that Williams. But Josh is going to have none of it, and he's going to now try have a move down the inside. Naismith lot box off though, so Josh having to back out. Fastest lap goes to Chaldinho, who goes P8. And we got the first person boxing for intermediate tyres. He opts for the inters. Could the weather change so quickly? I don't know. We'll have to see what the data provides. K1 does get past Torian again. Now Torian, instead of attacking, have to think about defending against that Mercedes, as it's going to be a tough job, as it seems like he loses the traction a lot heading through turn. Last couple of turns. It's Jengaaboi battling now Naismith. Nay trying to defend. He still does honourably. And he's going to send it a bit as well. Brakes way too late. That's going to put him off wide. That's going to allow Josh to get to P9. He's had a bit of that problem today in this race. A bit of late braking. And Chimp getting past Shadow. Chimp now 1.6 seconds behind Jordan. Jordan couldn't ask for much of a favour because of this. As much as this helps nice Jordan in his championship battle. Shadow, he's had a great, fantastic 3 races. He's got his first maiden. Well, he's got his first maiden podium. He's got a P2 and then a P5 finish in Zandvoort. So if you look at it, it's a very, very good P3. But I feel like from winning the sprint race, well, that's his first maiden sprint win as well. So you're looking from the sprint race and now looking for the main race. You can see when Jordan's on his day, he is unstoppable. And Chimp is trying to get to that position, getting McLaren the best position that they could possibly get. I'm looking at this now. I mean, at the moment, Alfa Romeo are on for their best race finish of the season. We're a P5 and P7 so far. 5 tenths off for a P6 so far, but I think he's got a 3-second penalty K1, so he's going to drop down quite a few places. So unless he can find a way to get past that 3 seconds of that Jengaaboi, can he get past Torian? Torian defending again, hard and valuably, but I think his efforts are going to be outdone there, but not just yet, as he is going down the inside. Let's go allow Josh to go the long way round to a tricky part of the track where it's the most wettest part. That says no can, so Josh, who's going to lose the position to Torian, lose a bit of the rear end there. 3 second penalty for Skyboy. Vital that one is for K1, as he can now, without pressure, get past Skyboy and remain in P6 at the moment. And that is Wizzy sending it, making contact, and it's going to make a domino effect with Naismith hitting into Josh. Oh, what was Wizzy doing? Just sending, he had too much speed carrying there and sends it into Jengaaboi, which then Jengaaboi, which allowed Jengaaboi to hit Naismith. We're going to have our first DNF with Dave retiring within the pits. Oh wow, that was a bit silly from Wizzy, as now that's going to allow Wizzy to get up to P10. But if he's going to be a bit frustrated with that, he's going to be really frustrated, and I think that's just going to save the Alfa Romeo's point finish, as now that's Josh dropping back further positions and still needing to pit within this race. As we know, it's going to turn into intermediate conditions further on. As we got a second driver now, the second Red Bull going into intermediate tyres. So whether they know something and we don't, it's hard to tell. We'll see when he's gaining time or not. And he's gaining time massively. I don't know if that's down 2-3 second penalty for Torion, JJoLancer and K1 being safe there. And it's K1 getting up to P6 now, not that far from his teammate of Redemption. So Alfa Romeo on for their best point finish of the entire season. They could not have asked for more. That's on Don spinning into the grass, struggling to keep the car on track. I think we can see that with a problem with some cars here, struggling to keep some cars on track with this wet tyre. I think this is what Brazil produces. It produces great racing and a bunch of difficulties, as easy as this track looks. And that is Dom heading to the barrier. That could release a safety car there in that position, and it is going to release a safety car. Oh, blimey. I don't think Dom did do that on purpose, but that's going to ruin the Alfa Romeo of K1 a bit there. As we know, he's got 3 seconds. He's going to have to push even more. Stay ahead. That is burning it down and getting a drive-through penalty. Wizzy did get past Jengaaboi. Wizzy stays ahead of him heading into the pit stop area. We'll see any of the front runners switching off those wet tyres into the immediate tyres. I think so, mate. No, I don't think we are going to see anyone switch off these wet tyres. I think they're going to log it out to the end of the race and go to the end on the inters. Now we're going to see someone. Jordan does not switch to inters. Chimp though, he comes in and boxes. So does the second McLaren. So them two definitely going to double stack, and that's Shadow boxing as well as. So Shadow will definitely get himself up to P2 maybe. K1 and Redemption do not opt to box. No, Smith gets a drive through from that. So does Chimp go into a new set of wet tyres? He does. JJoLancer follows upon that strategy, goes on a brand new set of wets, and that's going to allow Shadow to get past him. They'll stay ahead of him, I should say. Chimp will stay into net P4. As maybe a net P3. So he's on the new fresh wet tyres. That's definitely going to make him incredibly faster than Jordan, Redemption and K1. As we know, new wets. There's Torion. He's now the second car opting to go on the intermediates. Everyone else on fresh pair for the ones who boxed. No one's gone for the gamble just yet, apart from really Shocker. He's went for the gamble on those inters. So very, very much interested to see what strategy they can come up with Haas. They've definitely gone for the most interesting strategy, as they're the only ones in the top 10 on the inters, and everyone else behind him, apart from what car is on inters. So, and everyone else behind him's on fresh wet. So it's either going to go well or poor for him. And I think Jordan could have potentially followed up on the new wet tyres, as he was ahead of Chimp. Obviously, he would have stayed ahead of Chimp, and he would have been net P3. And I feel like him having in this position is not going to help him whatsoever. Burn it down, it has been lapped. So he's definitely going to be an issue in the way of both Redemption and K1, as he can definitely hinder the safety car. And that's K1, that's Redemption now, opting to now box off those old sort of wets to a new set into the. I think that's a bit too late. I think Jengaaboi is going to follow up on that, as now he sees everyone else boxing for a new set of wet tyres. It's going to hinder them, as they're going to drop back a load of positions, as they were in a great advantage beforehand to box and stay in a similar position as they were. Redemption is now going to stick into a P. They're going to drop down massively, as they both do opt to go for the wet tyres. Can they stay ahead of Torion? It's finding it struggling to do these intermediate tyres, as we are into safety car, so there's no worry about it. So he's going to lose only. They're only going to lose a couple of positions, Redemption, but it's only going up to P8, and Josh is going to go up to P9. That's definitely going to hinder him, but you're going to look about it, you're going to think about it. Can they get past these cars now, who are on the old set of tyres, and also one lap older tyres? Can they start making and getting positions up quicker as possible after the safety car restart? It's the only way for like 4 more cars to catch up, so we can get back underway racing with about 24 laps to go in Brazil. Whew, okay, I can breathe. Right, yeah, so I could just take a minute to breathe. It's what I hope. I don't know, I think Jordan, I'm going to say to you now, folks, I think Jordan, I don't think he's going to play this out damn right, as I know. He would still be P2, but he will have the fresher tyres, and I think now people behind him have way much more fresher tyres. It's going to absolutely kill him, and they will definitely be at about, what, 25 to 30% tyre wear now, and he's going to want to hold out to the intermediate conditions. It's going to be tough. Very, very, very tough for him to do. It's going to be a tough job. Very tough job, at the more say at least. But if he's able to do it, it'll be amazing for him. Safety car in this lap, and we still don't have the most cars joined yet. He's still waiting for Shocker to join with the rest of us on the new wet tyres. So no one now on the intermediates. They don't think it's ready, and I could have told you about the start, folks. Now there's a Ferrari of Skyboy spinning around just before the safety car. If he could get himself back, he could just about catch himself probably back to the grid, as they're going to be a bit too far back. That's not going to hinder. It's going to hinder Zink a lot. I think it is. I see a lot of cars buffle up together. So Skyboy doesn't lose that much as you think about it. He's going to get a lot of speed to think about it to get past Torion. Down the inside he goes. Torion's going to go the long way. Has himself to defend. Back on the inside now on Skyboy. Contact made. That's to allow Skyboy to get through. Chaldinho manages to find himself to get up to P10. Timu letting him by there. Wizzy gets past Josh. Can Josh defend it though? I don't think so. Wizzy a bit more hesitant. Oh, Redemption lost a bit of traction. That's going to allow Josh to make a double overtake there to get himself up to P7. Brilliant move. Joshy boy now having to defend against the likes of Naismith. He's got his car behind. Chimp gets past K1 quite reasonably here as K1 tries to think to defend Shadow, which he does well, as Chimp does get past the lap car of Burn It Down, which is going to hinder Chimp a lot. Really think about it there. And Chimp on the fresh wet tyres now. He's going to be all over Jordan's rear end as that Shadow fighting K1. It is Shadow gets past for P3, puts himself back in the podium position. Now Joshua Boy all over K1. K1 again on those old wet tyres. He's going to defend. Oh, and that Shadow blocking him there. That's going to allow Joshua Boy to make a two-car move, possibly here. Contact being made as Josh Shadow defends K1 easily there, and he keeps Joshy Boy at bay, moves him up to P4. K1 right behind Joshy Boy though. Can think about a move down the inside. He makes that small gap work. Just about. Bit of contact was made. That's going to hinder him a lot. That's going to get Naismith past to P5. Naismith now all over Joshy Boy. Josh as a Jengaaboi. Think about a move of K1 down the inside. K1 leaves no room to think about a move. But Joshy Boy does send it down the inside and gets the move done. It's a brilliant move and a brilliant send. I think Wizzy should really take notes on how it's done. If the room is left, it can be possible to do it. And Wizzy, he's been quick. I mean, there is a lot of hope for it. But K1 on those old tyres, it's going to make you struggle a lot. A lot. Chimp now trying to find some speed to get Jordan, as there are only 6 tenths separating the two drivers here. Chimp's going to find a lot of speed for this main straight, And you see Jordan losing up a lot of his ERS to stay ahead and stay in somewhat speed. That's Naismith opted to box off those old set tyres onto a new set of maybe wet tyres. I think he's driving his cert now. He's doing his drive through. As we have now Burn It Down DNFing, as I just saw it there within the pit lane. So that was just silly, wasn't it? That was just silly from Burn It Down. Oh, that was just stupid. That's going to bring out another safety car, and that's not only just saving Naismith, as it's going to put him, probably keep him ahead of both cars as it is of Team and Shocker. But yeah, that was just stupid by Burn It Down. That was just silly, wasn't it? What was going to pay off that? And that's going to allow Jordan to box down onto a new set of wet tyres with 20 laps to go. That's going to hinder him a lot. That's going to drop him down to last place. So I don't think he's going to take the option to box, and I don't think K1 is as well, as he doesn't want to be the back of the grid. Naismith could potentially box, as he will be at the back already. So that's K1 retired. He must have spun. He must have spun there, and I think he has. Oh, must have contact or spun. I feel bad for him. He's having a fantastic race. Something must have happened there. Oh no. Poor fella. Right, again, we're back for another safety car. No one has really opted to box apart from the ones on the old set tyres, really. They've gone back on another old set of tyres. So, we plan as we head to lap 17, 19 laps to go. 19 laps of long racing. Whew. As we head to lap 18, Jordan still leads, if you're just tuning in, as Chim is P2, Shadow P3, JJoLancer P4, Josh Jengaaboi, a bit of a name with them two, quite points. Jengaaboi P5, Wizzy is into P6, Hazy, after a terrible start, managed to crawl himself back up, P7, Skyboy P8, Luke P9, Nano P10, putting the, where is it, Aston Martin into a double point finish, Redemption P11, Sync P30, P12, Naismith P13, Timu P14, Torrance P4, P15 my man, Shocker is having a shocker race, P16. Ugh. 4 cars DNFing there with K1 Burn It Down on Dom and Dave, and 2 safety cars. So, what's to say? Jordan decides to race the safety car. I think he's a bit bored here of the safety cars. Still 16 laps to go. We're on lap 19, 17 laps to go. Since the safety car comes in, we'll have 16 laps of racing. Hopefully no safety cars, and hopefully it'll be an interesting race and see who decides to box first, who decides to stay out. It's going to be one hell of a think about in this race. One hell of a think about. Oh, crikey. Whew, so now heading through the last couple of corners of Sector 2, heading into Sector 3. As we do see the safety car coming this lap, that Aston Martin green safety car. Oh, must have been some heavy contact made in the middle of the park there. And there still is. No debris lying about. That's going to hinder cars massively. And I think we're going to get away anytime soon now. As Jordan's still optimistic not to get us away. We needed a racing line, as he does now. Shadow all over Chimp. Chimp wants to defend this now. Shadow can get past. Chimp defends down the Chimp, defends the inside, makes Shadow go the long way. Now Shadow's going to push Chimp to go the long way, as now he gets past by. Shadow up to P2, JJoLancer up to P3. That's going to hinder Chimp so much. Chimp in P4, Josh will be P5, still Hazy only moves up the position to P6, and Wizzy is now defending that P6 position. Contact made with the Aston Martin. I don't think he's going to be too happy with that. And the Aston Martin has made contact with the Ferrari, who's just missed the wall there. So he hopefully has no damage to come to his name. Naismith is the one to box intermediate conditions. He feels like he could get a massive undercut on all these people here. Or he must have got damage. I don't know. He's only 12 seconds behind, so it looks like he didn't have damage. Otherwise it'll be furthermore. But he feels like it's intermediate conditions heading near the end. Obviously the rain will become coming more its way due to the safety cars. So I think he might have found the sweet spot, because he's gaining time on Nano as we go and speak. So it does seem it's intermediate conditions, probably just about. He's now losing time, so he might struggle so he could do the first sector. Second sector looks like it struggles a lot. A lot of teams might think and look at Naismith and hopefully stay along with his lap times. And that is now going to allow Hazy to drop down to P9. He must have spun. I had a little accident. Timu now flying with pace. Can he get Hazy? They're going to go free wide heading into turn 1. Toriant, Hazy and Timu. Hazy's the one who's going to be backing out. Timu, can he get the move done on Toriant? Timu going wide. Contact made with the side pod of that Haas. Williams still can't get a move done, so he's going to stick behind. Now Hazy right behind Timu. Can he get past at any point? Oh, he does. Down the inside he goes. Contact made slightly. It's going to slow him down a lot. Let's go allow Shocker to get by Luke, as he's now ahead. Redemption to get past Luke, as well as Shadow right behind now on Jordan. There is 10 laps separating this tyre towards the wet set. Jordan's 20 lap tyre. Wow, Jordan's done well to save his tyre wear to the best he can, to the point he could go this far, as he is holding off for the intermediates. I think Naismith's losing time more and more. I do not think it's intermediate conditions then, if he's losing time more and more. Chaldinho looks like he's had another incident there. Not ideal for him whatsoever. Scotty Boy, he is trying to think he can defend Zinc here. Good points position so far for the Alpine team. And Shadow is trying to hunt for that race lead once again on Jordan. Jordan still has the pace to stay in the lead. whether he can make it done, it's a hard one to tell. As Chimp is gaining more and more on his teammate JJoLancer, only 1/10, now 2/10, separating the two. You see where the traction's coming into play, and that is Chimp getting past JJoLancer up for P3. So Chimp's definitely gonna have to do a solid job to get past, to get close enough to both Shadow and Jordan. That's Sink getting a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Not ideal for him, as that is gonna make him drop down to P10, 11 to to P11. So he'll be out the race point so far. As that is Shadow still hunting down Jordan. Jordan still holding off until that intermediate condition comes. Shadow needs to make use of these new fresh powder compounds before that new tyre comes around. As the green will is otherwise a bit useless at that point. As Shadow still 5/10 behind. Needs to find speed somewhere within these sectors to get closer and closer, because there's a 10 tyre wear gap there. So he definitely has a tyre advantage, but just whether he has the pace to stay ahead, it's a hard one to see on the side, because Jordan, although he has the slower set of tyres, the older set of tyres on, he's doing well to hold out, and holding out well. There he is, Naismith again. Doesn't seem like he's gaining much time. He's gaining time and losing time a lot on Hazy. So it's a hard one to tell where to look at it. That's Zink battling there with Timo. Timo does get himself through, so he is up to P9. We're looking at Wizzy, still 7 attempts behind Jengaaboi, who is P4 at the moment. JJoLancer dropping down to P6. So Josh now P4, could have potentially seen himself in a podium position. He has got himself a 3-second penalty, so he needs to find some time from these cars behind. We see JJoLancer box now off these set of tyres. What tyre is it going to? Is it for a new set of wets? It's onto the green wall, so the AI has decided it's time for box. So JJoLancer's box enters. So whether the AI knows something that we do not, it's going to be hard to tell. Very hard to tell whether these inters are good or not. As we see one car has boxed from now. Has the inter tyre conditions come already now? It's not what Shadow would need at this time, as he needs to make the most of these fresh wet tyres compared to those old set of tyres. It needs to make use out of it. He's only 8 tenths behind, struggling to find time to get close. Jordan managing incredibly well on these tyres to last until these intermediate conditions. As you can see, to wets, the rain does look like it's getting a bit lighter. The puddles doesn't look like it's clearing up a lot though, as you can tell. So whether it is just on the verge of intermediate conditions, or is it even just off the verge of it, it's hard to tell. Very hard. But Jordan doesn't opt to box. That's Naismith opted to box on the new fresh wet tyres, so he now thinks it's not time. That's Shadow battling out with Chimp now for P2. Chimp on the inside, he gets the move done, and he's now going to stick with. He's now going to move up to P2, back up to the position he was beforehand. Back up near of Route 1. So it has been near the whole race. Josh now having to battle Wizzy on for his first races, to get his first P4 finish for the Avatar, and the Avatar team will be delighted with that, as they have struggled with form for loads. Oof. As I see now, Chimp struggling to find time to get that close up to Jordan. He's only 7 tenths behind. Shadow losing time more and more as this goes on. Doesn't seem like he's had the blistering pace as he had in the sprint race. Time goes on. We've hit the 10 lap mark now. 10 laps to go of the Grand Prix. Who's going to come out victorious then? It's going to be a hard one to decide. Now Chimp is gaining more and more on Jordan. Jordan, you see that why could it be Shadow, as he was comfortable ahead of Shadow, but losing time to Chimp. Looks like Chimp's making the most out of this wet tyre situation between them two, as Jordan is still holding out on these wet tyres. He's doing a stellar job to get him to 25 laps. Looking at him, they're turning into more intermediates than they are the wet tyres sooner or later. That's JJoLancer boxing off the inters on back to the wet. Looks like it wasn't intermediate conditions just yet. And that's Nano getting past Hazy. Nano keeping a point position alive. He does have a penalty. Has Timu off track. So that's gonna hinder him a lot, as he's now 5 seconds behind of Luke. No, Shadow's dropped down loads to P6 to P5. Wizzy's now on for his maiden podium position, as Josh is now P3, but it has that 3-second penalty. That's going to do him in there. He hasn't been able to pull away from Wizzy as he would like to, and Wizzy's done well to stick with him. And now Chimp, close as ever to Jordan. Jordan seemed like he could struggling to find traction out of these wet tyres, as I would believe so. He's going to struggle more and more as this race goes on and on. It's going to hinder him a lot. Very much hinder him. That's Redemption gained a 3-second penalty there. Not good at all for him. We're like 6 seconds from now. Jordan not having the best ERS management. Obviously we know he likes to burn it all a couple of laps early and then stay ahead of his competition. So sooner or later, situation that's now losing the position out with Hazy. Probably both of them come in contact with each other. That's going to allow Zinc to get by for a P9 so far, and Luke get by P10. And Chimp 4 temps, just near enough on the verge of 3 temps behind Jordan. It's going to be close between these two, as we've gotten enough. I think that's 8 laps left. I think that's 8 laps left. This Chimp is right behind now. Jordan, about as close as they've been so far this entire race. Chimp still right behind, 2 temps behind, 1 tenth behind. Still there. Could think about a move around the outside. No. Could he think about a move at the inside? Too far back to think about it. Could he have another go heading into corner 30? No, I want to say I don't know. I don't want to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, turn 14. I was right the first time. 14. The Chimp now 4 turns behind. He's doing well, but he's not doing well enough. Shadow now is out of the chance to get P4. He's dropping back massively. I don't know what's happened to him here. He must have some damage or something like that. Well, it's just pace has all disappeared. It's going to hinder him a lot. That's Chimp now very, very close to Jordan, who's now used all of his ERS, flashing on 28 lap old wet tyres. Wow, he's doing a stellar job to keep these wet tyres alive and to stay in the league. But how long is that going to happen, as now Chimp is hunting down that were Mercedes. What a me. Need sleep. As Chimp still hunts down Jordan, 3 tenths behind. Still getting pretty close. Heading through sector 2. still pretty close to each other. Chimp just needs a great run heading through the straight. And he can try there. That's when he can actually start pouncing on Jordan. As the track does look like it's clearing up way much more. As you can see there, not much heavy rain being displayed. I feel we're still on the wet tyre conditions. And there's Jordan now boxing for the set inters. He's now waited out long enough. He thinks it's now intermediate tyres. Mercedes did a good pit stop to put it back into a position worthy. Shadows decided to do the same thing and box. No one else follows up. Jordan now on to the inters. They needed a good pit stop there. As we see now, the Alpine team put on those inters. Quick pit stop for them. Round about 2.45 pit stop there. Stellar pit stop from the Alpine team. And a well-needed one as well. That's Jordan. I want to see the gap to the leader. Where will this put him now? As he'll be coming out of the pits, P6. As that puts Jordan into it with a Wizzy to P2 position. Jordan now 19 seconds to the leader. If the intermediate tyres are quicker, he will gap Chimp. He will get Chimp. Yeah, so it depends. Anyone else is going to follow up. The people behind now see the leaders box. Then they're going to now up to box. Chimp not thinking about it. I think these wet people now are thinking, you know what? Screw it. We've got 6 laps to go. He's got 6 laps to catch. Is he going to do it? We don't think so. We're not going to stick it out, and I think they are going to decide to stick it out because if they box, they got all that progression. It's almost for nothing, and Josh needs the people to box him in front of the people in front of him. Need to box the inters if he wants a chance to gain his championship lead even more on Jordan. Because I know he doesn't need to box then. He's right behind the Chimp's rear end. He's going to go for a move around the outside for a long way. Could go to switch back into the inside. Doesn't think it is too far back to do a move. Wizzy's now 3-second penalty. That's going to keep Josh a fight for a P2 finish. Chimp fighting it for this position. Josh, but enough last on the grid, could take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix on track. Without the 3-second penalty, he would lead it, but can't find a way past Chimp. Chimp defends well. Chimp obviously wanting to get another race win to his name. I think he won Spa. Can he now win Brazil? It's going to be close. Obviously, we know he's not going to box. Jordan is holding out to these intermediate conditions, hoping those in front of him box, and none of them are boxed. It's now hindered him a lot, and he's dropped down to P5. That's not good for not only him for his championship battle, as well as to Jordan and for against the Williams team. As now Williams and McLaren have now gained a massive advantage on each other, really, in the constructors' battle, as well as both their teammates aren't scoring points. All 3 of them aren't scoring points. I don't think we have a single team who aren't going to score double points here. That's Chimp hitting, losing traction, and hitting into Jengaaboi. That is Jengaaboi out of the race. He is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Chimp lost traction, and Jengaaboi was trying to overtake, and the car was smashed into each other with 4 laps to go. You won't see a safety car. So that's Wizzy now taking the lead of... No, we are going to see a safety car come out. That's going to get up Jordan a lot, as now he's going to be back into a contention of winning the race. As I'm guessing Chimp will get a massive penalty there. That's going to lose Josh's championship lead without a doubt. We're only going to have 3 laps of racing. The safety car will not stay out for like 2 laps. We might even have 2 or 3 laps of racing. Oh my lord, what have I just seen there? What have I just seen there? Oh my days. Oh my days. Whew, what the heck? What interesting stuff I've seen here. As Wizzy and Chimp do opt to box, they're going to come on to the intermediate tyres. As Chimp having a loss of front wing, we know about. So Chimp can come out in P2, and I think he is. Maybe he could battle Jordan out of the pitch, you know. Will he battle Jordan out coming into the pits? They could come out side to side there. Looks like they are. One of them's going to battle out to the pits. Who's going to take the lead? Due to this pit stop, is it going to be Wizzy? Wizzy's just going to hold out in the lead. Oh my days, that Skyboy DNF'ing as well. Skyboy is DNF'd. And Wizzy's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. What for? What did Wizzy do to be disqualified? Who's been disqualified? Wizzy's been disqualified, I think. What has he been disqualified for? So you're serious? It's been DSQ'd. For what? What did he get DSQ'd for ignoring yellow? For what? Got DSQ'd for that? Oh, what? Oh, that is just ridiculous from the game. The game's just fucked up in there. So Jordan's now taking the lead of the race with Chimp right behind. Shadow probably has been saved from all this havoc. With 3 laps to go, Nano can see himself into the best scoring position as he ever wanted for. All he needs is the safety car to come in this lap and he'll be perfectly fine, as Luke will be too far behind to do anything really. We'll have 2 laps of racing, possibly 1 lap of racing if the safety car doesn't come in soon enough later. We're going to have 2 laps of racing here as we head to lap 34. No, we'll have 1 lap. Oh lordy lord, lap 34, 2 laps to go. We're going to have 1 lap of racing here in Brazil. Who's going to come out in lead then? Will it be Shadow, Chimp or Jordan? I think Jordan's probably going to have it, but he's on the old set of tyres. So Shadow, but Chimp will be hit with a massive penalty. I believe so, if Josh does report it. I'm going to reckon he is going to report it. So we will have 2 laps, 1 lap of racing, 2 laps of racing, yeah. Whew. Right, as we do get the safety car underway. Also some cars going wide there. It's Jordan safety car restarts. I do gotta say a bit questionable at times. Right, where Jordan gets us away, we will see 2 laps under racing. And when he does and if he does is the same question. Right. As we now, Jordan gets us underway, 2 tenths away from Chimp. Chimp's gonna have to do that little battle again with Shadow, as Chimp does think about moving down the inside. Shadow round the inside, back up on the inside. Chimp, contact made with Chimp. Chimp's already had enough contact today as it is. Shadow wanted to get his P2 position and wanted it now. Could have a go. The ERS wide open there, using it as much as he can to go down the inside through the smallest of gaps to make it work. Turion's DNF, he is out of the race now, and now Shadow has got past, he's 1 second behind Jordan. He's going to try and think about his Shadow, now having to defend from Chimp. He's got a 3-second penalty, so that's going to allow Shadow to keep P2. Chimp down the inside. Shadow defends really well. Chimp going around the outside of Shadow. Shadow still thinking about going the quick way around instead of the long way around, but that's going to hinder a bit, because that's now Chimp to get past through. Could go for a lovely piece of switchback in there. Doesn't go for it. And he's probably just going to say, you know what, I'll stick behind. I'll take this second P2 of the season. He's done well to get, he's missed the consistent at the moment, scoring consistent top 5 positions in the last 3 races. And he's done superb at it. 3 tenths behind now. Chimp catching up to Jordan ever so slightly. 1.5. 1.4 maybe into that region in a minute. That Jordan getting the fastest lap of the race as we head into the final lap of the race here in Brazil. Jordan wants to regain that championship lead, and he's going to want to regain it massively to put him back into the fight. And the fight is going to be back on as we're going to be heading into the next race with Jordan back in the lead. So far, he does not have to fuck up these last couple of laps. Oh, pardon the language now, but I'm excited myself there a bit. 1.4 seconds still. Chimp is catching ever so slightly. It's not enough though. Jordan now still heading through the last couple of corners of the track now, heading through turn 13, heading into 14 to 15. Yeah, there. Heading through the final sector now. He only has 3 corners to go to claim himself back as championship leader and put Merck into the fight of the constructors, as well as Williams will have himself P6. Jordan will come from the penultimate corner to the penultimate straight. He will come round and win the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Chimp will get himself P2 on track, but loses down to penalties. That is Chado grabbing a P2 there. Shocker from P13 will drop himself. Timu getting P4 for Williams, keeping them alive in the constructors' battles. As much to say, Hazy from a difficult race solidifies to a P5 finish. Shocker drops down to P6. Singh into P7. Luke to P8. JJoLancer P9. Now Smith to only get himself that 1 point finish, and the rest will be P11 and 12. I don't know who was that. I think it was Nano and one more person. I can't remember. Debshire, I think? I think it DNF or something like that. But wow, 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 what a heartfelt race. Well, there's Jordan collecting what is his 5th or 6th trophy now of the season. As you can see, the Mercedes here absolutely ecstatic that he's won another race. Brazil belongs to you, Jordan. He is the Brazilian Emperor today. El Presidente. Winner is Jordan. And Shadow will take our P2 spot, and Chimp will take P3. But probably will get a massive, humongous penalty there. Wow, that's exotic. I'm a summer race. I tell you, man, ladies and gentlemen, it was brilliant. Right, as we head to, where are we off to next then? As we head to, we're heading around to the final 3 races now, with Bahrain, Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi to go. So the Arabic world will be shown for the next 3 weeks. I'm happy to say I will be there, as per usual. Happy to see you guys there, as per usual. I've been your host, commentator, Ryan. Thank you for tuning in today. Grateful as per usual. I'm sorry there's not special music today. I was planning something special music, but obviously my dinner came into part, so I'll have to save some special music until next week for you guys. Anyway, it's been fantastic. See you next week.